Landon, have you ever seen a hole in a sidewalk and thought, man, I wonder what's down there? Or like you see an abandoned building and thought, man, I wonder how many crackheads are in there. If your answer was yes, urban exploration might be for you.
When you first said a hole in the sidewalk, I thought you were talking about this video that I saw. It was in the streets of New York. I'm pretty sure it was Casey Neistat. I don't know if you know who that is, but I would imagine a lot of people who may listen to this would know who that is. He just like found this hole in the sidewalk, and you could look down in it, and it was just a like open area with a bunch of pipes and stuff in it. And he was able to like stick his camera down in there and move it around and look it around, and like it was just breaking off.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
In the streets of New York.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the holes in the sidewalk like that, but like there can be different things down there. Mm-hmm. Like there's a shit ton of stuff underground that's just abandoned. Like I'm just going to talk about this topic was introduced to me by TikTok. It was just on my For You page, and then I just started searching and I went down the rabbit hole. I'm just going to talk about a few of the things that I saw. One of them we were talking about was just a hole and a guy stuck his phone down there. It looked like a underground meth lab like looking thing. Like there was a guy working down there. You could see him when he stuck the camera there. Yeah. And there were like those white plastic tubs with who knows what's in there, probably meth or something.
Hopefully.
But then there was an abandoned hospital with like power on still and like expensive looking equipment that was just left there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then there was one where it was just a tunnel, and it was like, you know, they're all tall enough, like you can walk in them like really easy. It's not like, you know, caving. It's like, you know, like walking through a hallway or like a subway tunnel or some shit. But it just had like black plastic pots all over. Presumably it was like an old grow room. They like had weed stored up, but then was just abandoned.
Spicy.
Yeah, just like shit like that you just find. There was a different one that was like an abandoned house, and it just inside had just been untouched for years. It was basically a time capsule for like the late 90s or early 2000s.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's like crazy that even was able to be that way. It
was like a box TV and like VHS tapes and like a wall-mounted house phone with a cord, you know, and like an old-ass couch from the 70s or something, and framed family pictures from the 90s, you know?
That is so crazy.
Yeah, that was a different one. They went to an abandoned nuclear reactor, and they went inside the big white cylinder thing. Like, dude, that's it. It's so cool. But I sent a video in the Discord. I think this is the first one I saw that was on my For You page. I would like you to watch it now. I'll edit it in the video. The handle will be in it, so they'll get a shout out, whoever made it.
He jumps down inside of it. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He just goes down the ladder. Well, a different one there's a ladder, but...
Oh. They found the place where they do the cult meetings.
Yeah, they found the place where you fight Fetch in Infamous Second Son. It's like an underground theater. Like, that is so cool.
Was it the building that's right next to them that they got into from going under there?
I don't know.
Because it looked like they showed a view from off of the roof.
I don't know, maybe.
So I wonder if that's what it is.
I don't know, maybe that was just a different thing. That was just a shot that they wanted to use. I don't know. But it is super dangerous to do that, though.
Yeah. No, that could be extremely dangerous. There could be people down there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's crazy people.
Yeah, like, first of all, it's illegal. Second of all, there's all kinds of like, crackheads and motherfuckers doing heroin down there, and like, squatters and like homeless people, whatever. Most of the time, as long as they're not like drugged out of their mind, from what I've heard, if you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was abandoned, and then you like leave, they seem pretty nice. The squatters more so than the fucking crackheads. But still, like that's terrifying. Like imagine being in that situation.
Terrifying.
Yeah. And then apparently their number one fear and why all of them like wear masks when they do it, black mold. Places like that are like the most likely place to get black mold because it's like man-made structures that hasn't been touched in, decades or whatever. And, especially in somewhere that has like an abandoned mall. I saw in one video, he was like going down a staircase and there was just black mold all over this wall. And he just was like, nope, nope.
What's wrong with a little black mold?
I mean, that they might just be racist. I don't know. They probably don't mind white mold. Welcome to Internet Content with the boys. This is Internet Content. I'm Jake, that's Landon, and we're the boys. If you've ever seen anything on the internet, that was us. Speaking of, us, what you been up to, Landon?
Well, currently I'm looking to see what black mold even does. It causes your immune system to react. Yeah, but I'm just not sure how. Is it sneezing, coughing, eye irritation? It rarely causes serious illnesses or death, but it may worsen asthma symptoms. That's probably just in small quantities. I would imagine just walking down a hallway that's just covered with black mold would not be very good for you because it'd be very in the air.
Yeah, and that's why they wear masks, because it's like even if you get close to it, you can start breathing it in. It'll fuck you up.
There's not been much happening since our last recording, at least.
It's only been a few days. Like,
dude, this is crazy.
Peek behind the curtain. It's Wednesday because I was just told that we didn't have work today and tomorrow, so like I'll get half a paycheck, but it's whatever. We can record earlier. We recorded 3 days ago.
Yeah. I think
we were a week late, and now we're a few days early. So it's like, hey, this is probably the shortest turnaround between recordings ever.
Turntables.
Oh, how the turntables,
dude. Okay, this isn't in our outline, but speaking of how the turntables, it's already going to have passed by the time this comes out, so there's zero chance it'll be found out before. I'm gonna buy my dad a PS5.
Yeah, you're telling me about
that. Which
were
is
you gonna get a Spider-Man one? Is that what you were?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because that'll look so cool. Because you can't just get the other colored consoles. Like you have to
buy the
a regular
separate.
PS5 and then get the panels separate. Yeah. But this way it'll look not just like a white PS5. It'll have a different controller that looks pretty cool.
And the controller looks awesome. Yeah.
And it comes with the game. So that way we won't have to worry about primaries and such.
Yeah.
That'll be good. But yeah, it's just that was just so funny to me. I got so giddy thinking about that when I thought like, oh man, I have the ability to do that. I'm going to do that.
And you were originally going to get it for Christmas, but then you're just an impatient little bitch.
That is true.
Which I mean, it's a very wholesome thing to be impatient about. It's
yeah. I just really want it to be before Spider-Man comes out. I think I'm gonna buy it Sunday. But that way it'll get here on my day off. So I'll be able to get all the stuff transferred over.
So since it's like it's a console that comes with it, does it come with a disc or is it a digital code?
It comes with a digital code. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because I was thinking like if you order it before the game even comes out, how does that work? But I guess it's just locked until
yeah.
You
get a code.
Yeah. Okay.
You download it on the 20th. It says this did happen before our last recording, but we've got my headphones. I got to tell you this story.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard about this, or at least I don't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna grab them. They're in my backpack, so I can show you. So I've had those black skull candy earbuds, the Indie Evos, the cheap ones. I've had those for years. Dude, I've had them for 4 years, going on 5. And the case just died. It does not charge anymore. I don't know why. It's just old. That's probably why. It's old. It is so old.
Probably just from like getting smacked in your pocket, you know.
Dude, yeah,
like
it is.
Or dropping whatever.
It has been dropped a couple times, but this has not gone through the same abuse that my new duplicate one that I got, that is the same exact kind, just a different color. So that way, I only have one case that'll charge it, but I have 2 pairs of earbuds that work.
Yeah, and
so
if they
if one
just
of
so
them messes
happen to
up,
die,
it'll be
if
fine.
they just so happen to die one day, you can just put them in the other case. Hell yeah.
No, it's gonna be great. This is perfect. If they're mismatched colors, whatever.
It's fine.
They're fine. Nobody's gonna notice, and if they do, I can tell them what happened. But over those almost 5 years that I've had these black headphones, they have not gone through as much abuse as these gray ones went through in their first week. I was at work, and my uncle needed to drive a vehicle that he could go get the cameras in. They're just the big things that you can put like 8 pans of food in. So they're big.
The cam bros. You mean male OnlyFans users? I'm gonna make that joke every time you say that word, by the way. I hope you know.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. Those food keepy warmy thingies, he needed to go get some, so he asked if he could just drive my car, and I was like, sure, because it doesn't matter, but I just went out to get my stuff, because I was going to be going to an event later on.
Yeah.
So I go in, I grab my water, I grab my my headphones, and I put it all in my pocket. My headphones, my phone were in the same pocket, and then I was telling him about the trunk because it's a little bit broken.
Yeah.
Because when it was really, really cold out, I went to open the trunk and the handle just kind of broke off.
That's
right?
fun.
Yeah, it's not a very new car.
We both have a handle on our vehicles that have been broken off at one point.
Indeed. But at some point, being behind the vehicle, I guess just taking my phone out, whatever, my headphones fell out of my pocket. They didn't hit the ground hard enough to open the case, so I think that's what saved them. Like, they were face down, so if they opened, they wouldn't open. There's just too much resistance on it.
It would launch out the earbuds somewhere.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. That was it. Because of that, I think that's the reason it survived. So this either happened when my uncle left, or when he came back, or when I backed the car out from that spot to be able to see the area after it was dark out. But they got ran over by the car, for sure.
Oh, fuck.
And they got rained on.
Yeah. And they still work?
Dude, no, they work great. They work like nothing even happened. Yeah. There's a few little tiny spots. There's this one you're not going to be able to see, but there's one little spot right here and here in the corners that you can see where it had gotten pressure, because it's like a little bit lighter. Might be able to see this one. I gotta
tell Gary I said hey.
Jake. Never mind. Wrong person. Joseph. Jake said hey. Okay. Oh yeah. You see that little light spot there?
Damn. And that's from getting run over by a car? Just that little mark?
Yep. And then there's these 2 little ones in the front, but on the bottom is where it's the most noticeable. Ooh, I gotta get it in the shadows, kind of.
Yeah,
you can see it around the port.
The charging port still works and everything?
Yeah, dude, no, it works fine.
Which
is
crazy.
so insane. So insane. On the 5th day of owning these, the 5th day, this happened.
That would have sucked if they broke.
Dude, I know. They were so much cheaper than when I got the other pair originally, all those years ago. Dude, I know. It's so great. Because I don't need better, more expensive headphones.
Mhm.
I'll probably get another pair before these ones go out, but I just didn't. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money, and I know these were great so far.
I had the indie ANCs for forever, and
I'm pretty sure those are the ones after this one.
Yeah. But I had to get like probably 3 replacements. I think just because they had a pretty rough life, you know, from doing electrician work, you know, and whatever, and like, you know, shit hitting them in my pocket and, you know, wearing them on my ear, and like a fertilizer plant, which notoriously is not great for technology or any metal other than stainless. But
yeah,
I got the Sesh ANCs, and you know, they were a little more expensive, still, you know, well over $100. Like well up, like closer to 50. I can't remember exactly how much they were. But they, instead of looking like, you know how AirPods are, they have like the little thing coming down. The Sesh ANCs are like just inside of your ear,
the little
you know?
bud.
And it has a physical button instead of the touch controls, which is my favorite part about it.
Yeah, dude, buttons are fire. I would rather deal with the click and be able to press it in for like if I'm wearing gloves or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
That's something that I've had to experience as well. It's nice to be able to just press it in.
They're very convenient at work. Like it's much easier just to press the button and pause them. Like if somebody's talking and I need to be able to listen better, like I can just pause them with a click, and it's much easier than trying to use touch controls, and I can do it with the gloves on or whatever I'm doing. Like I can even like lean my shoulder into it and press the button if I need to. Like it's nice, and it stays in your ear much better than the other kind too. You know, it was worth the money to me. I like the different kind of design on them.
It's not for me, but that's just how it be.
Yeah. So what games you been playing?
Dude, I've been playing Starfield a good bit recently. I know I said a little bit about it.
Or you were like comparing it to Skyrim, kind of.
Dude, yeah, I gotta keep comparing it to Skyrim. It's so
I heard you were saying like it seems more similar to like a Fallout, but you haven't played, you know, much of Fallout, if any.
Yeah, I've not played very much of Fallout.
Yeah,
like I've already played Starfield more than I've played any Fallout game. It's been like a week, so
around about how many hours do you have in it? Like just a guesstimation. You don't have to look it up. But...
Well, no, I have the game open.
Oh, okay.
18 hours and 52 minutes is how much this save has on it.
I got you, dude. I think it was Joel Haver. You know the animation videos he made. He made like 2 or 3 of them that were sponsored by Starfield. Dude, they're so funny.
Oh, that's hot.
I think I've sent them to you, but I think
I've seen one of them. I didn't realize they were sponsored. I didn't watch them all the way through. If he said it at the end.
Yeah, they're funny. I would look them up if I were you. Now that you've played it more, it would probably be funnier to you.
Yeah, I watched one of them. I don't think it's that he has just gotten less funny. I think it's just me and my humor. I just don't think it's as funny as I used to think it was.
He makes more live action stuff now. He's more focused on that.
Like even I know it's not animated, but it's animated, but it's the way it's done. It's not like hand drawn. It's really cool how he does it. I've seen that video because I used to watch a whole bunch of them. But just
I follow a few channels that have that same style, like a goat on a stick, I think is what it is.
I've seen some of theirs.
Matthew McCluskey, he makes some on Stardew Valley.
He does some good ones. I really enjoyed the Stardew Valley ones.
Yeah. The one where he brings the truffles in and it's like, I know everything about you.
True. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we kind of got off topic. Talk more about Starfield.
Starfield, yeah. Like I've been enjoying it. It's massive. It is absolutely ginormous. There are over 1,000 planets you can go to, which is
1,000?
absurd. Yeah.
And how many of them are like not just wilderness. Like, how many of them have like towns and like any kind of settlement or anything like interesting, like worth exploring other than like for resources?
Okay, yeah. This says, there's 1,000 planets in across 100 star systems, but only 100 of them are habitable. You can put a base on any of them. I know that. Well, except the gas giants. You can't land on a gas giant because
there's gas
it's made
giant.
of gas.
What is the point of those?
Well, they're in space.
No, but like, what? Why are they there? Like, do you get
Because
anything from them? Like,
you can scan them
or something?
You can. I don't know if you can harvest any resources from them, but you can scan them and you can get whatchamacallit, like you get currency if you turn in your scanned stuff.
I got you.
I really liked the way that Skyrim's level up system was. How you had to use your like a specific thing to level up a specific skill. So if you wanted to level up one-handed, you had to use a one-handed weapon. If you wanted to level up smithing, you had to do smithing.
Yeah, I enjoy that kind of progression in games. Just in
this
general.
one just has, you get XP from killing things. You get XP from crafting things. Not a whole lot from what I've crafted, at least.
And then you just put them in whatever skill.
Yeah, you get a skill point. There's
okay.
You need to be like level 384, I think, to get all of the skill points to unlock everything. And that's not including doing all of the requirements to get to the next level.
It's good that there's not a level cap. Like
I know. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you get XP for doing missions. But it's really slow. But what you can do is just go find a planet that has like wildlife stuff that isn't going to have a gun and shoot you back, and you turn your difficulty up to the hardest, and then you go land on the planet, and then you turn your difficulty back down to easy. So they get the spawn
XP
in
from
they spawn in at a really high level because they're trying to be like, oh, we're supposed to be difficult, but then you turn it back down, so your damage goes back to normal.
That's awesome. Is that just kind of an exploit, or is it more of a glitch that's going to eventually be patched? Like,
I would say it's just an exploit. I don't think it would be patched. They would have to change the XP system.
Yeah.
If they were going to do that, or they would have to change stuff about it, not like the entire thing or nothing. It would just have to be a bit different.
Yeah,
dude. Something that I have been really, really impressed with is the ship building. Because I'm playing it on PC, but I have been using my PS5 controller. Because I love this thing. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. This purple PS5 controller. It's the most beautiful controller I've ever seen.
I was about to say, when did you get a blue one? It looks blue on this camera, but I think that's just a lighting.
It's not blue. It's got to be. But yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Dude, I can't believe my dad's gonna have us beat. He's gonna have us both beat. He's gonna have a fucking Spider-Man controller. Dude,
I know, that thing's gonna look awesome.
I'm just so excited to see it, because I'm gonna... I've been thinking about how to... I know we're getting off topic of this. I'll come back to shipbuilding. But...
yeah.
I've been thinking about it, like, because they know they're not expecting this, like, because this was pretty recently that I thought about doing this. I thought I came up with the idea, but I am not the one completely funding it. I am so lucky. This is the only reason I'm able to get it done so quickly is because Joseph is
Chad, brother.
He's funding half of it. Amazing, so great. This is so
Joseph,
exciting.
Then he was Larry. Then he was Gary, and now he's Chad.
Chadry?
Chadary?
Chadary?
Chadarius?
Chadarius. To me. Because I'm gonna be the one that opens it and gets it all set up, gets all his stuff transferred over from that he's been doing. I'm pretty much just going to transfer over the stuff that's on my PS4 Pro because he's been using it and my mom's been playing stuff on it too occasionally. But I'll just have to make sure that the PS5 versions of the games are at least started downloading for when they get up to the house.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out some time when they're either just not in the room, or I'll have to get Leah to just text her, ask her if she could just get mom and dad to go into her room. The hard thing is, my dad literally had surgery today for his other hip.
Yeah.
So he no longer has got bones growing on his bones.
Which is good.
At least on his hips. Yeah, that's very
always
good.
a good thing. Yeah.
Like, he's sore right now, but, like, in a week, he's going to feel so much better than he did last week. Because it's just a huge relief. Because it's pushing on the cartilage on his hips.
Yeah,
like,
I can imagine that would hurt so fucking bad.
That just sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine. But yeah, well,
yeah, the
it's
ship
exciting.
building.
I'm just excited. Yeah, shipbuilding. It's really fun. I thought the controls were gonna be so bad because
like they are on a lot of like PC games with controller controls, especially in menus. They're just kind of janky.
Yeah, because like, have you ever tried to build something in a 3D space where you're just a floating around camera?
Yeah,
it's a little funky with a controller most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This was really comfortable. The lock-on stuff to connect the parts worked really well. It just the hardest part for me was figuring out what the heck all the different components were called, because you need some of everything, because you got to have fuel, you got to have engines to be able to move the ship. The more you add, the more you need for other requirements, like power for all your engines, or fuel capacity to be able to get you to different star systems. But it shows you very well, like, what you need to like if you're missing something, it tells you what you need to be able to not be missing that requirement, so you can get your ship off the ground and actually finalize it. I've got 122,000 credits. I attempted to build a pretty large ship. It got to, I thought I had a lot of money. It got to be very expensive very fast, because like it was a lot of cargo bays. I just want to be able to store like a massive amount of stuff.
Shit ton of stuff. Yeah.
So that way I can transport it, because I'll get like a base. I don't particularly want to use. I don't want to use the infinite storage chest that's at the in your room or whatever, or like in the place. There's a few of them. But in the place where you go to in the main story, I don't want to use those infinite ones. I kind of want to store it at my own place. Just because it'll give me an excuse to make an extremely large storage system in another game. Yeah, which I love doing.
Yeah, didn't you say there was some kind of glitch or an exploit that kind of seemed kind of familiar to Skyrim?
Dude, yeah. If
you could grab anyone
who's
through a wall,
anyone who's
like
played Skyrim knows about the Khajiit caravan glitch, where you could just grab the stuff from their shop inventory for free, because every shop owner, they have a chest corresponding to what they have for sale. And it's just somewhere in the world, but the one for that person in the Khajiit caravan, their chest, if they were in Dawnstar, is just able to be accessed from the ground, like standing above ground. You don't even have to glitch through anything. You can just look down and open into it and take stuff out, which is so crazy. That's just so... It's great. I used a different one. I would jump over the wall and get outside of Whiterun, but not like load the map outside, because I'd still technically be in the town, but I would have jumped over the wall, because it's not loaded both areas. It's not like you can just swing the door open and walk inside. It's got to go through a loading screen to load the town. But there was you could get to the blacksmith's chest. That's what I would do a lot when I played Skyrim. But there was like there was like 4 of them. There was like 3 that were pretty easy to get to, at least after your first time. a lot of invisible floors, but you could you get to some of them in the first major civilization that you get to through the story. And then there was one in a different place that was a little bit farther in that I got to it, and then I did just a little bit and then went to bed that night, and at work, just having a video playing, listening to it, I heard about the glitch, and it was at that place. And then I get home and I go and try to open the game, and it has like a 2 GB update, which fixed all of those glitches for the for the chests. It's gone. It literally disappeared. I didn't plan on using it because like I played Skyrim a ton. That's why I started doing all the glitches later on. I don't want to use any yet because I've not played for very long. Eventually, I'm gonna do some shenanigans if I can, because I want to save time.
Especially if you like it enough to do second playthroughs, you're just gonna exploit the fuck out of this game. Yeah.
But it's gone. I'll have to do it some other way. But I don't know if I'm gonna have to like do a whole bunch of exploits for like money and stuff. I don't know what I would need. Yeah. Because I have I'm getting very close to being able to get the skill to make outpost stuff, the outpost engineering perk. So that way, if I upgrade that at least 3 times, I'll be able to make everything for the outpost, I'm pretty sure. And then I can start get like drills set up where they'll mine stuff. I have a person who's really good at outpost management to be able to do that, and then someone else that can do stuff as well. So I can have it set up to automatically do certain things that I would imagine will just produce me money, which money is always nice.
So that's one thing about like some kind of RPGs that I haven't really gotten into. Like I just don't jive with. I don't have much experience with it. I've only played like 1 or 2 games that even have a system like it, but kind of the companion systems like that. Like you get an NPC in your crew, and you can like give them armor and weapons, and they have different skills and whatever. Like in my head, that's a really cool system that you can use to your advantage, but like I just haven't been able to get into that much, which on some later episode will probably just be complaining about games like we've talked about. Spoiler for some future episode.
Shadowing.
But RPGs to me, just in general, I'm talking kind of a little more broad for whatever reason, but in general,
RPGs in general, from someone who does not have a huge experience at RPGs, continue, please.
From the ones that I have played, it's like the idea of them and all of the concepts, it's just in my head. Okay. They seem so cool and so fun, and they seem like games that I would really want to play and enjoy. But then in practice, when I'm actually playing them, I just don't get into them very much. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't jive with them in the actual practice of playing the game. You know what I mean? But I love the concepts. I love the ideas.
Because RPG is pretty broad, I'd say. Because like Persona is an RPG.
As far as something like a Starfield, something like a Cyberpunk foreshadowing, something like a Skyrim, whatever, Fallout, just things like that. Even The Witcher to a certain extent, like it's just hard for me to get into them, even though I love all of the ideas and the concepts of the mechanics.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy the world of Starfield more than like The Witcher or Skyrim. Yeah. And I know medieval stuff tends to not be your
more than a medieval
favorite.
Boy.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy this. It's just, you don't have to purchase the game, but you can try it for $10 a month. But you can only do the $10 for 1 month and test it out. But then you'd be able to play other stuff too, because you'd have Game Pass for a month. There's loads of stuff on Game Pass.
I just know that like I don't want to get Game Pass because I know if I get it, I will just want to keep it because of the value it has. But like I don't have enough time to play a bunch of games, so I wouldn't even get the value out of it. And it's
one-time purchase. You can only do it monthly. They don't have like year plans or nothing. But it's like $10 a month for just PC. But if you have an Xbox, it's like $17 a month, which is
that is so weird.
Yeah, it's way more. But you have Game Pass. It's still a better deal than than PlayStation's, because it's like, you know how you have to get PlayStation Plus to be able to play online.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It comes with that, with the Xbox stuff. You just get Game Pass with it.
Yeah.
I think there's just not the options anymore to do like the different levels of Xbox Live. There's just the 3 of them now, if I'm not mistaken. I do not have an Xbox. This is just what I've seen Xbox on the Microsoft store, trying to get looking at Game Pass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I know this is a little out of order, but Xbox, the X cylinder.
Okay, you put that in the topics, and I was like, what even is that? Like, I know nothing about this, so please explain.
Okay, there was some emails leaked from Microsoft, spicy. And it showed a whole bunch of stuff that they were planning to do in for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2028 is when this is supposedly gonna come out. Get these
2028.
Yeah. So 5 more years.
Okay.
I'm gonna send
so
you.
What is it? Is it like a console? Is it like a what?
It's
what
a
is it?
ton of stuff. It's a console. It's the controllers. It's like business plans.
Would it be?
I'm trying to find a picture of the console.
Would it be like the next gen, or would it be like the pro version of this gen?
I haven't read this whole thing, but this is here.
Because I've also heard rumors of a PS5 Pro being in development.
Okay, what generation is the PS5 Xbox Series X? Is that Gen 8 or are we in Gen 9? I don't know the generations of games.
I have no idea. I just know it in terms of PlayStation.
It is. We're in the 9th generation now, so it's still a 9th gen. So this is like a Pro, the most powerful Xbox ever. Now adorably all digital. So this is just all digital design. Okay, this is still really far away.
Yeah,
it seems really good. It's got 2 terabytes. Got USB-C on the front. It's got their new controller is going to have haptic feedback. That's a big thing. So that's really awesome.
Catching up to PlayStation. All right, I see you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Series X is like a good bit stronger than the PS5.
Shut the fuck up, you little bitch. Shut the fuck up.
But the digital PS5 does not cause PlayStation to not get games released on it. The Series S causes games to not be released on Xbox.
The Series S is the worst decision they could have made. That thing sucks.
Like, this thing, it's a cylinder. You've seen the picture. It's a cylinder. Mm-hmm. This is not an Xbox.
That's the thing. I kind of like the name of it, because it's like Xbox, instead of like putting a number at the end, it's just X cylinder. Like with PlayStation, it's just numbered, but with
that's
Xbox,
not the name of it. I don't think it has a name yet.
Okay.
It's still years and years away. It's unless... I can't imagine it's actually called Brooklyn or the Xbox Series X refresh. It might be called the refresh. That's an interesting name. I don't think that's terrible.
Then I would think that it would be like a pro version instead of the next gen. You know what I mean?
I said that. It's still Gen 9. We are in Gen 9 currently. That's what PS5 is, and the Xbox Series X. Yeah, it's going to be 4K. It's going to have a stronger Wi-Fi. It's a Wi-Fi 6E. I don't know what exactly that means, but I've heard it's good. And it's gonna use less power, and their rest mode is going to only use 20% of the power that it uses currently. I don't know what I don't know what PCR is. Increased use of PCR on housing to 30%. The controller. I kind of like the way it looks. I like the two-tone. I obviously am not going to get one, but I don't think it looks bad.
I'm not gonna lie to you, and this is not just a PlayStation fan in me. It kind of looks like shit. It kind of looks like one of those things like, if a giraffe wore pants, would it wear them like this or like this? It reminds me of that.
I cannot argue with that. That is 100% the truth. I'm not even going to say anything else good about this controller. This controller sucks. You look like a giraffe, but not a cool giraffe.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about like, You know, when I have kids, I'm just gonna like fuck with them like before they have access to learn things. It's like I'm just gonna tell them that giraffes aren't real, and then one day they're just gonna find out. They're gonna be like, "Dad, why did you tell me for 10 years that giraffes aren't real?" And it's just shit like that. It's like, come on, unicorns aren't real, and that's just a horse with a horn. Do you think a fucking horse with a 30-foot long neck is real? Come on, be real here. Just gaslight the hell out of them.
I was thinking really hard there for a second about how to segue using the word gaslight to go to our next topic that we hinted a bit ago.
Hey, you know, we were talking about a game with a whole bunch of exploits. We can talk about another one that just had a big update.
Dude,
no, I haven't seen anything
update.
I haven't seen anything about what's in the update. Can you please enlighten me, my good sir?
They're literally calling it Cyberpunk 2.0 because it's such a big update.
Yeah.
So you played the not the original, but after they did the first big update that fixed a whole bunch of stuff, you played some of that. And they're missing a lot of stuff that they should have had. But now they've got a lot of stuff they should have had. There's a new DLC that has come out, which it's only on next gen consoles, so the 9th generation, like we have. Yeah. One thing that's going to be added in that DLC is Knuckles is there in all of his not covered in hair, normal human looking glory. Idris Elba.
Idris. Oh, so it's like a story DLC as well.
Yeah, no, there's like new stuff. It's
okay.
There's the regular stuff that's being added just for free, which is what I'll go over. I don't know what all's in the DLC, but
yeah,
I just had to say that Idris Elba he's going to be in there.
That's absolutely amazing. He fought a tiger in that one movie. Apparently that movie's pretty bad.
Dude, I watched it. It was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. I don't know how they made such bad decisions. But one thing that they're adding is stuff to their combat system. Some good stuff. There's new police system.
Huh.
The police will actually come after you, not just in like hordes forever spawning right in front of you. They'll it'll be like you're playing GTA just in the future. It'll have good cops. Okay. We'll have different types of cops that will come at you at different times depending on your wanted level, or actually be a wanted level. There's I guess there wasn't even a thing. There's gonna be radio chatter that I guess you can listen to be able to hear what they're going to do. Vehicle combat. You can shoot from your car. I cannot believe that wasn't in the game before.
That's a big quality of life thing.
No, I know. And it's so good that all of this is free for any of the consoles. Yeah, you can do it whether you're in first person or third person. You can use pistols, submachine guns. I guess one-handed weapons. Melee weapons are able to be done on motorcycles, and it works. If you shoot tires, they go out. There's let's see, combat enhancements, AI enhancements. There's just a bunch of AI stuff that is done. I'm trying to find stuff that you might actually care about. It's just a lot of cyberpunky terms. Health items and grenades now have a limited number of charges that recharge over time after being used. That's weird. Does that just mean you don't pick up healing items anymore?
Yeah, the wording on that is interesting. So it's like, if you pick up a grenade, you can just use that grenade infinitely and it recharges?
No idea. But stamina is no longer drained outside of combat. Amazing.
That's big quality.
That should be in every game. That should be in every game.
Yeah.
Or if you have a stamina system, it should not be drained outside of combat, except for I get it in Breath of the Wild.
Except for Zelda. Yeah.
That stuff it feels different. Needed.
Yeah.
Rebalance the base game's main boss fights. Armor penetration, introduce that. Okay. Or for the main bosses.
There's a lot of stuff that feels like it should have been in the game at launch.
Okay.
Like shooting from your car and shooting out tires and stuff. That should have just already, a lot of quality of life changes.
Remove the one-hit kill protection from civilians. A complete perk tree overhaul. The trees now contain fewer perks, which is good. There was just a ton of them. They didn't really do a whole lot. They do suggest starting a new playthrough.
Which if I played, I would definitely do that anyway.
Yeah, I would too. I made it kind of far in, but like I was not even halfway through the main campaign. I just did a lot of random extra stuff.
I think a lot of why I didn't enjoy it much is I was just skipping through all the dialogue. It was just so boring. I didn't like any of the characters. I think next time I'm gonna, like, if I play it again, I'm gonna try my hardest to, like, actually, become invested in it a little bit, but...
Yeah, because you're not gonna like everybody.
Yeah. And it's like, there's a lot of games where it's kind of, like, hard to get into the mindset of role-playing, because it's like, there's different levels of not liking a character. There's not liking a character, and you can actively, in-game not like them and, like, treat them mean or whatever. But then it's like, there's just some characters that you don't like because they're boring and you just want to skip all their dialogue even if it's important. Yeah, A game where I did pay attention to every single line of dialogue with very intent ears is Hades. Now, they're coming out with a sequel, and they're having an early access, am I right?
Yeah, I want to say it was speculated to be in Q2 of next year, which...
Ooh,
what's that?
Q2,
that's like going to be summertime.
Spring or summer? Because...
like April, May, or June.
Yeah, okay, that's really awesome. So that's like half a year away, maybe a little more. Ooh, I'm so excited for Hades 2. I wonder. Good. I'm gonna make a prediction. Zagreus is gonna show up like towards the end of the story. Like they're like 100%. Zagreus is gonna be in it.
I just have no clue what the story is gonna be like. I'm very curious.
Me either. I'm really interested in it. And as far as like in the first game, you were in Hades and you were trying to escape, but you're in the underworld and you're Hades' son, so of course you don't die and you just respawn. I wonder how the whole roguelike nature of it is going to be explained in this one, story-wise.
Magic. So much magic.
Yeah. So, will it, like, what... Do you know anything about it? Like, where is it going to take place? Like, where are your runs going to be at? Like, is it going to be in the underworld again, or is it...
I do not remember.
Yeah.
I know we've both looked up stuff at various times.
Yeah. Like, I remember looking up stuff about the main protagonist, too. Like, I can't remember her name now, but, like wasn't she related to Zagreus? Like, her...
I want to say it's Hades and Nyx's kid.
Okay, so she's just badass. Okay.
But for some reason, she's got a green eye like Zagreus.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's a Persephone thing. Persephone.
Yeah. It's fine. It looks cool.
Yeah. Okay, Hades 2 will have at least as much content from day one in early access as the original game did back when it launched in early access.
Holy shit.
We both experienced the game well after it had been in early access.
Yeah.
So, but there's still got to be a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a big game.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for all of the new boons and like the different gods that you're going to get boons from. I'm excited to see the combinations.
Yeah, I know we get, it's centered around Kronos, the Titan of Time.
Time. That's why it's going to be a roguelike. It's going to be time-based. That's awesome.
Escape from the imprisonment in the underworld, Kronos now wages war on Olympus. While it is a direct follow-up from the first game, Supergiant makes it clear that you don't need to know anything about Hades or Greek mythology.
So I wonder how many duplicate gods for boons are going to be in it, or if it's going to be all different. You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
Because they got, like, the vast majority of the big players in the first Hades. Like, I wonder... Like, I'd have to imagine there's still going to be Daedalus and, some of, like, the big three, like Hades, Zeus, whatever. But I would also have to imagine there's a lot of new ones as well.
It's going to be so good.
I want to know what weapons are going to be in it.
I loved the weapons in the first game.
I know. Like, all of them are fun to use. Like, my least favorite... I can't even think of a least favorite. Maybe the spear? Maybe? But even then, I loved it. Like, because even if you don't like one, there's the different variations. Like, the one where you can throw the spear and it blows up and whatever. I use that one a lot.
There's all the different variations of all the weapons. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what else is so good?
Your mom.
Well, yes, probably in a different context than you're meaning it, but
What do you mean? She's a nice person.
but the Ahsoka show. This is just gonna be episode 7. Like, the last 2 episodes I reviewed like 3 episodes at once, but this is just episode 7. I literally watched it. I woke up, watched the episode while I was getting ready to go work out, and I, man, like, this episode was really good, but you could really tell that it was just more of a setup for the finale next week.
Mm.
But so starting off, the hyperspace whales, you know, the Purrgil, they are so much cooler in live action than they are in animation. Like, they were in other episodes, but in this one it's like there's a part where they come out and there's mines and they're going through a minefield and they're so tough. They're just tanking all these mines and it doesn't even bother them. But
weren't they in Mandalorian?
no,
They were in. I just feel like I remember seeing Mando and Grogu like going through hyperspace and seeing the whales at some point.
they might have for like a little bit, but
It wasn't very long of a scene,
yeah,
but it
if
like
was,
showed
it
the
was just
whales for a
like,
second.
yeah, if it was, it's just like a little cameo by him, maybe. I don't remember it much. But yeah, like them like pulling their tentacles back and they light up blue before they go into hyperspace. That looks so cool in live action. In the show, they look pretty cheesy. It's like, really, whales that can go in hyperspace? But it's like, when you look at the lore about them, especially the lore that isn't like directly like in the shows and whatever, it's like, I'm pretty sure that's how the people in the Star Wars universe discovered lightspeed and how it works is through the Purrgil.
How many of them did they have to kill until they got the technology they needed to figure it out?
I think in one of the episodes of Rebels, that's what they were doing. Like, there was one place where they passed by often, and there was some kind of thing where they were trying to farm something from the whales, and they had to stop them. I think there was an episode about that. But anyway, they're really cool. There was a really cool ship battle scene, which happens, with the whales, and then a little bit after they're out of the kind of the swarm of whales, they hyperspace away, and like, especially compared to anything in Mandalorian, there might be 1 or 2 space battles that are as good, but it was a really good space battle. I haven't been super impressed with a whole lot of space battles since, the prequels, but this one is pretty fun. And oh my god, last time I was just gushing about how it's consistent, like with Rebels and with the Thrawn books, and this one it really keeps that up. The Thrawn, who is like, he knows who, spoiler, is because of the story in Thrawn Alliances, the second book. He has just an entire thing where he's with this one character and he finds out who he is, and just like, he figures that out and uses it to his advantage. Like, he just his they do a good job like conveying that he really is a tactical genius and uses every possible advantage, for his own gain, and just Shin, by the way, the hot one, the dark Jedi, she is mommy material, just like Abigail from Stardew Valley. She is Dami mommy.
Yeah, you love all. You love all like 64 of those pixels.
I would let her pin me to the ground and do whatever she wanted with me.
I don't believe you. You gotta show me proof, or it didn't happen.
Then Ezra in this episode, his fighting style is so cool, because he's been on this planet and like grown up and lived like almost an entire lifetime, and he's been out without his lightsaber for so long that like he's basically an airbender. You know what I mean? Like, Sabine is like, she tries to hand him his lightsaber and he's like, no, you'll need it more than I will. Then when he's fighting, he'll do punches and kicks, but it's more so like using the force around him to inflict damage on his enemies. Like Like he'll do a kick, but then it'll like do a wave of like force energy, and it'll like just smack him on the ground or whatever. Like he's like an airbender. Like this shit is awesome to watch, and it really feels like I said, this episode is more of a prologue for the finale, but this whole series, as it gets rounded up and as we get closer to the end, it feels very much like a prologue to the Heir to the Empire movie that Dave Filoni's going to make. And it's making me so hyped for that. That movie is going to be so good. If it's anything like this, and it's more cinematic and on a bigger scale and everything, I am so excited for that movie. Just, I haven't read the Heir to the Empire books, but I know that everybody who has just loves them. I am so hyped for this movie. It's going to be amazing.
I have not watched anything Star Wars in so long.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Mando season 2 was probably the last thing.
Well, I watched like almost the first 2 episodes of Mando season 3.
Mando season 3, I thought the first few episodes were good. Mando season 3 was by far the most hit or miss. It had some really good episodes and some really shit episodes, and it had a few mid. Like, a lot of it felt like filler. But the ones that were good were really good. Just a lot of people, I think, were soured on it because the finale was one of them that wasn't great. Anyway, Landon, you know what time it is?
Oh, is it time for our... Okay. I'm gonna give myself one guess, because it's like a 50-50 unless it's something new. It's either the trolley question, or we have a quote of the day. I'm not going to get specific enough to say that it has to be a quote of the day or an obscure quote of the day. They're grouped as one. I'm gonna assume we got a trolley problem again.
Landon, it is time for our random quote of the day.
Bitch! Fuck yourself! God damn it!
The quote is, "I wish you would stop calling me little buddy. I'm in my 40s, for crying out loud."
That does sound familiar. Is that something that you think I've heard before?
This is one where I wouldn't know one way or another. You could have seen it, but it wouldn't be something that we would talk about.
Is it from a cartoon?
No.
Okay. From a movie?
No. It is it is from a show. It's older. Even if you get it right, even if you get it right, yeah. Even if you get it right, you'll get it wrong. It's
Okay. Well, even if I get it right, I'll get it wrong. I'm gonna pick Osmosis Jones.
No. I told you it wasn't a cartoon, you buffoon.
It's not just a cartoon, you buffoon.
You blabbering buffoon.
Have you never seen Osmosis Jones? It is not just a cartoon. Come on. It's literally got live action Bill Murray on it. He's in there. He eats that egg. It literally takes place inside of him. They had to get a really tiny camera.
I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna be fully transparent. I have never seen Osmosis Jones. I have only seen like pictures, and that is it. I've never even seen a video of it.
I mean, we'd have a lot of other things to watch before we got to that. But
yeah. Anyway, it is Gilligan from Gilligan's Island, but it was a crossover episode in season 2 of Alf.
Okay.
Alf has a name other than just Alf, by the way. It stands for alien life form. His real name is Gordon Shumway.
You're a Shumway.
If you weren't Shumway, if you weren't privy to that information. Yeah, Landon, you got any final thoughts before we close this thing out?
I actually do have final thoughts. My final thoughts are that we're going to jump back in time. I was gonna say this about Starfield. I knew there was something else I was gonna say, but you had your segue. Because you were talking about the companion system, and then you went and were talking about something else. The companion system in this one, it is the same in the way that, you can just have one person following you around, and you can give them whatever guns. I've heard just kind of don't unless it's someone that you really want to just be with you all the time. Don't be giving them nothing special, because they stuff happens sometimes. Deaths happen occasionally.
Yeah.
And you don't want to just lose something that's really good. But there's if you go to your ship menu, I would imagine it would be. Oh yeah, no, this is yeah. If you go to your ship menu, just in your inventory, like start, go to the ship thing, you can open up your crew, and it shows every person that you've met that you've recruited to be able to do something. Someone that you've gotten to where you could get them to follow you around, or you can have them be on your ship because they have their own skills that they get, or you can have them be at your outposts. Like, it's just your character's management screen for all of your people that you've met. So you don't have to worry about, like, oh, this person here with this good stuff, he's on this planet in this solar system, not being able to set a bookmark or nothing. And then you go off and do stuff, but you have to send them home because you get someone else for a different quest. Well, where the hell was that guy? Because this is a little bit bigger than Skyrim. It's not like you can just remember, that dude's in the tavern in this one town.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of companions so far that I've been able to find out about.
Is there like a max number that you can have, or?
Well, you can only have one with you at a time. But I would imagine there is a max number for the people that you can have that you can put wherever to work for you. But that's just because there's only so many characters in the game that are going to be able to do stuff. Yeah. Not every character can be a companion or work for you. Yeah.
All right, well, we are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcasts, which, like you know, is all linked in the description with all our socials. Shout out to the TikTok. That's all we got for today. We appreciate you listening, and subscribe if you liked it. We'd really appreciate it. We hope to see you again next episode.
I think I'm going to go build a really square-looking spaceship.
Not the cock ship?